Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and this is my entry into the Metal Miners 1000 subs competition. Now, if you're following me and you watch me waffle on about music, chances are you'll have a hell of an idea who Anthony and Cody are over at Metal Miners. Superb channel. Both gentlemen know their stuff. Anthony's my age and he's more into his death metal. Cody is more into black metal, but the knowledge for both of the gentlemen is just absolutely spot on. I'll leave a link in the description to the actual competition, and it's quite a simple one according to Anthony. It's simply ABC 1, 2, 3. I'll elaborate. A is show or tell me your favourite album. Now, he did actually say he could show more than one for most of these questions. B is show or tell me your favourite band. C is show or tell me your favourite cover art or artist. Number one suggestion for their channel to make it better. You know, things you want to see, potentially, things like that. Number two was two bands you would like to hear new music from in 2024, if there's things already in the works or if it's something that you'd like to see in the works. And number three of your favourite releases from last year. So here we go. And this wasn't as easy as Anthony made it out to be, because trying to pick your favourite album, it's like trying to pick your favourite child if you've got more than one. So I've sort of gone nostalgic. It probably won't be much of a surprise to most people, but my favourite album of all time is the album that started me on my journey to heavy metal, which has got to be Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast, 1982. Bruce Dickinson's first foray as a frontman for Maiden. I mean, it could have quite easily been favourite artist as well, but I've gone a bit more modern with that. This is, it's Iron Maiden. It's the one record that, if I'm feeling nostalgic for Maiden, I always gravitate towards this one first. So it's sort of, technically, it's my favourite album, but it's not necessarily the best Iron Maiden album. So that is my first answer for the A. Now then, this is a bit of a, this changes daily. To be fair, it probably changes hourly, but it's show or tell me your favourite band. Purely because of the amount of stuff I own by this band, and when nostalgia kicks in, this is the band I always gravitate towards. It has to be Motorhead. Now, I'm showing this album, the No Sleep Till Hammersmith, the live one, because this was the first Motorhead album I ever bought. And I believe I bought it from some sort of, like, an indoor market where it was going for next to nothing, really. I mean, obviously it was a brand new copy when I bought it. I think I bought it 82, something like that, 83. Not long after I bought Maiden, to be fair. But for me, when I heard this, I was like, oh wow, that's just something different. It's not Iron Maiden. It's not even, I don't know who it is. Well, it's Lemmy. It's Motorhead, and they play rock and roll. And ever since that day, Motorhead have been the most consistent band I listen to. Even through all my years of being predominantly a thrash fan, with the Slayers and Anthrax and Metallica and, you know, the so-called superstars. Motorhead were always that one band that it sort of ticked all the boxes for me, and that's never changed to this day. And to be honest, I don't think it ever will. They're still, for me, the best rock and roll band that's ever been. So that is the answer to B. Now, question C, the cover art or artist. Obviously, any Maiden album, regardless, they're always superb. But I've gone for a little bit more of a modern artist who is currently releasing some absolute fantastic works of art. And if you're into modern death metal, you'll recognise his art style anyway. The gentleman in question is Mark Riddick. This is the cover art that he did for Lick with their superb release, by the way, Misanthropic Breed. In fact, I believe, now this isn't a very good quality paper, so I'm slightly afraid I tear this. Yeah, oh, nearly got it. But as you can see, if I slide back slightly, don't matter about the talented dudes down the bottom, more about the artwork here. This is an absolutely incredible piece of work. So, and just to prove that he how highly I rate him, I thought, I haven't actually shown this album on my channel, and it's an absolute fucking monster. It's the latest Eternal Rot album, Moribund. Now, the artwork inside this of the guys in the band is just absolutely, I mean, look at that. You can't, it just doesn't get any better than that. You know, it's quite simplistic in the fact that it's pretty much always black and grey, black and white. But, I mean, that artwork is just absolutely kick you in the dick fantastic. He's got, yeah, he does loads. I mean, he's even got his own band, Fetid Zombie, and the artwork for all of his releases, understandably, are superb. So yeah, so my current favourite metal artist, which again, it's not as easy as a choice because there's thousands and thousands of brilliant pieces of art in my collection, is at the moment it's Mark Riddick. Right then, so question 1 of the ABC 1, 2, 3 was, can we give Anthony and Cody some suggestions to make their channel better? And the God's honest truth is no. Simply because what they do now ticks every single box that needs to be ticked. It's informative, they show you new stuff that I've never got hold of. Anthony shows a lot of stuff I'd love to get hold of, but the shipping just absolutely would cripple me trying to get it over here. So it's always the list of ever-growing, I need to get that record, I need to get that album, I need to get that CD, I need to get that cassette. And to be fair, Anthony has mentioned a few times as things he would have liked, but the shipping from the UK over to the States is just, it's ridiculous. It's obscene. But as for suggestions for making the channel better, I would just say, carry on doing what you're doing, gents. It's absolutely top notch. It's one of those channels I instantly, as soon as I get the notification saying a new video's being uploaded, it's what a case of whatever's happening. If Mrs. B's watching some crap on telly, it gets turned off. Because they are that good. And, I mean, I'm not just blowing smoke up their asses. Anybody that follows Anthony and Cody, if you haven't learned anything new, then you must be watching it with your eyes closed and your ears closed. And so yeah, so that's that one. Question 2. 2 bands you would like to see new material from this year, 2024. The first one for me is Testament. I would say they are my favourite thrash band. For a long time it was Anthrax, simply because they were the first thrash band when I heard Among the Living. But once I got into Testament, once I heard Legacy, I was like, yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. And it just seems a long time since they've had anything new out. So Testament, definitely need to get some new stuff. And the other one's actually Consecration. Liam, the Death to a Metalhead, and his band. I was fortunate enough to see him up at the Dead of Winter Fest in Scotland. And although I own everything that you can own by them on physical media, actually hearing them play it live just completely blew me away. And in a day where bands were blowing me away pretty much well, every band did. Consecration were right up there with one of the best sets I've seen for donkey's years. So yeah, hopefully, Liam's been teasing that they've got some new stuff in the works, so hopefully they'll be getting another nice shiny piece of vinyl coming out this year. Question 3. 3 of your favourites from last year. Now, I did an end of year list, and fortunately for this little competition, there's 3 albums here that weren't in that top 20 because I didn't actually own them physically then. So here we go. First up, from Australia, this is the death metal absolute monsters that are The Plague and their Erosion of Gods album. This came out, I believe it was October last year, but for some reason with delays from record plants and such like that, it took me a while to get it. But this, even to this day now, still gets spun probably 4 times a week. And I know that doesn't sound a lot, but when you think of how much new shit I keep buying and listening to still have to keep going back to it's just 10 out of 10 album. This would have easily been in my top 3 albums last year if I'd had it in time. Superb, absolutely superb release. If you're still sleeping on this and you like death metal that just wants to smash you to bits, then you need to up your game, to be honest, because it's absolutely wonderful. So that's The Plague and Erosion of Gods. Next up, and again, this is just filthy, dirty, horrible Swedish death metal, dripping in that wonderful buzzsaw sound that we all adore. This is Exorcist and At the Somber Steps to Serenity. The guys are only young men, but the talent that these guys have got and the sounds that they create, it's just next level. I can only imagine if the career doesn't skyrocket, then there's something drastically wrong with the world, because these boys are absolutely stupendous. There's riffs that it crushes, it smashes you to bits. It's just everything about it is again, if I'd had this physically in time, this would have been end of the year list, no doubt about it, without question. Absolute fantastic record. So Exorcist, At the Somber Steps to Serenity. It's easy to say. And the last one is, it's one of the magician Chris Reifert's many projects, and it is Static Abyss and Aborted from Reality. If you don't know who Chris Reifert is, then you probably won't be watching this, so it was a pointless thing saying that. But yeah, again, this is just absolutely tremendous. There's not a bad song on it. I mean, to be honest, these 3 albums would have there would have been some serious shuffling going on in my end of year list for 2023 if I'd had these physically in time. To be fair, I did actually have this one, but I hadn't spun it very much, so it sort of got put on the back burner, which is much to my own detriment, because it's absolutely superb album. So that's it. That is my waffles for Anthony's 1,000 subscribers giveaway. Hopefully, if you've watched it and stuck with me to the end, you'll then nip over to Anthony if you're not already following him, subscribing him, and maybe chuck a video up or a comment. And he's actually said if you do a comment, you get 1 entry into the competition. If you do a video like this one, you get 2 entries into the competition. And if it's your first ever video and it's the competition entry, sorry, I've lost my train of thought then, you actually get 3 entries into his draw. So if you've been thinking about doing one of these YouTube things, might be a good time to start. You say it's a relatively simple competition. I wouldn't say easy, because picking your favourite album, picking your favourite band is, yeah. So anyway, hopefully this will be okay for you, Anthony. And until next time, cheers.